Hello, this is Ryan Seberg from Qubit Networks, and I am live on location in Laurinburg, North Carolina, with one of my favorite customers, F.C.C. and Michael Hunt.
We'll take that.
Yeah. So, Michael, tell us your position here at F.C.C.
Yeah, my position is a manager of ERP systems and IT, so that basically means both an application and a hardware side, supporting all of our operations in North America/USA.
Okay, so while we're talking about F.C.C., tell us a little bit about F.C.C. Most people probably don't know. It's not the Federal Communications Commission, right?
Right, there's some good stories on that.
Right,
We'll get in an
yeah.
airport and say we're with FCC, and all of a sudden everybody straightens up
Yeah.
and starts taking care of business like right.
Right.
They start wondering what they've done on their phone or their iPad
Yeah.
or whatever. But no, we're actually, originally it was Fuji Chemical Company. This was the 1930s in Japan. We're a Japanese company, and now it's just FCC. So they've dropped the Fuji Chemical Company, and we started making clutches for Honda. So we go back, same city that Honda started in, Hamamatsu City, Japan. So we go way back in the early history of making clutches for the Honda Motor Company and have since expanded. We can talk about expansion into the U.S. if you want, or the world from Japan, but I'll let you decide on what you ask me.
Yeah, we'll maybe talk about that at another time.
Sure.
And so today you have U.S. plants where?
We have U.S. plants. Our mothership, if you will, is in Portland, Indiana. Then we have a facility in Bern, Indiana, 20 miles north of Portland. And then we're sitting actually in Laurinburg, North Carolina. We have two facilities down here, one where we make our friction paper for our clutches, which is where we are right now. We call it the paper plant. And then, of course, another facility where we make clutch components with the paper goes on.
And ultimately, that's what FCC is very well known for is clutches.
Right.
High performance.
Right.
Clutches.
Automotive and motorcycle clutches mainly is our business, yes.
Okay. And just for a sense of size, roughly how many U.S. employees do you have? Do you know?
We have a little over 1,800 employees at those basically those four locations, yeah.
Awesome. So one of the nice things about getting to work for FCC was meeting you, right?
Right.
So you and I have become pretty good friends. And so tell us a little bit about yourself. Like how did you wander? How did your life take you to here?
Yeah, So the first facility that FCC built outside of Japan was in Portland, Indiana. So I'm from Portland, Indiana, grew up there. I decided one fateful day in a very good way to go to Purdue University.
Boiler up.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm an industrial engineer from Purdue, graduated quite a few years ago now.
Sure.
So way back actually.
It was a good school then too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely. And from there, my engineering career kind of took me into computers more and more. So I just became that guy, the computer guy. So I'm really self-taught in the computer industry. So I don't have a lot of book, chapter, verse when it comes to technology, but I'm school of hard knocks when it comes to technology.
Sure.
But with a good engineering problem-solving background from Purdue.
Yeah, awesome. And you're happily married to your wife Jan, and you have a couple cute daughters, and you have some great grandkids. And
yeah. I'm getting older as I keep telling myself when I look in the mirror. So been married my high school sweetheart actually, Jan
awesome.
Valentine, now Jan Hunt. So we've been married 35 years this year,
that's crazy.
and I have two lovely daughters and. A lot of basketball in that background. With that, we might get into that in a bit.
Right,
But then also two grandchildren as well.
That's
a
awesome.
boy and a girl.
And so I think it's kind of cool that your grandson's middle name is Hoops.
Yeah. So I was going to name if we had a boy, and this is, I guess that's just the way it was.
Sure.
A boy. Well, I left the girl part out. I was negotiating at the time with my wife. I said we need to name our son Hoops, and we were negotiating for about 9 months.
Right.
Well, with 2 different times, so 18
Sure.
total months.
Right.
And I had 2 girls, so that didn't happen. But here we are. I have a grandson now, and Corver Hoops,
Yeah.
and not to shortchange Lola, our first grandchild,
Sure.
beautiful daughter,
That's
our granddaughter
awesome.
as well.
That's awesome. And
I'm happy. By the way.
Your whole family is basketball fanatics, right? So
Yeah,
your son-in-laws, I know both were college players,
Right.
and you're a Butler season ticket holder,
Right.
and you like to go to Purdue games,
Right.
and just kind of all things. Your daughter was a college basketball player. Your
Right.
other daughter got to cheer for 2 national championship
Right.
games at
Right.
Butler, and so
Yeah.
lots of Indiana basketball stuff flowing
Yes,
through your
yeah,
family.
Ryan knows me better than I do. That's yeah, a lot of basketball.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, we get excited every year with basketball.
Yeah.
Still Purdue fan, still
Right.
Butler fan. I appreciate IU. Sorry,
Yeah,
but I grew up in IU.
Right. There you go. So, okay, well, very, very cool. So, one thing I want to talk about are these hats.
Yeah.
Right. So, when I first started working for FCC, everyone was wearing these hats,
Right.
and I used to think that it was to keep hair out of things, but really, it's so when you're looking at something, your face doesn't get in the machine, and this stops your
Yeah.
face from getting in. Correct.
Right, just the simple
Right.
things like that make a difference.
Right.
Safety glasses and hat, you know, it's
Yeah.
like kind of like cat whisker, right? You always say
Yeah.
a cat won't go through a hole that's
Right.
whisker. It's
Yeah.
that type of thing. So the hat protects you a little bit.
And so it's always for us to, we get around to a lot of different customers, but it's always kind of fun to go to FCC because it's just kind of different.
It's part of the culture.
If you go to
wearing the outfit too, here,
right.
so,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
If you go to our office, you'll see that we have a FCC hat,
Yeah.
in our office.
Part of the story.
Right. So we've been working together for I think since 2012.
Yeah, I think that was 2012.
And we've put in a lot of extreme networks,
Right.
formerly in Terrasys, a lot
Right.
of now extreme.
Right.
And you're actively using the switching platform and the wireless platform and the management and the network access control and the analytics and
Right.
you're really a lot of the tools that Extreme has.
Right.
So kind of just talk me through that. Like, what have you liked about that? What has made that stick here? Because sometimes in IT, it's not. Or in networking, it's not super sexy.
No.
Right? It's a lot of
make
it
it
is
work.
yeah.
Ones and zeros make it flow.
Right.
That's basically what we do.
So talk me through that.
Well, first of all, Qubit's been here from day one with us, and that's been extremely important. We needed a partner. When I first started about 11 years ago with FCC, we had one T1 line feeding about 200 people, and anybody that knows anything about T1 lines knows that's not enough, right?
Right.
And so we really began with a very, very meek beginning when it came to networking, and so we knew we were slow, and our company is very slow to change, but we knew that in our future was ERP software,
Right.
where we're basically going to be running the entire facility, soup to nuts, A to Z. We use ERP software, in this case Plex, to run our operations.
And Plex is a hosted product, right?
Yeah, and it's hosted, so obviously, T1's not going to cut it, right?
Right.
So we knew that from obviously the circuitry to the internet was very important, but also our infrastructure was extremely important, and we knew that. Not to play on extreme, but we knew that it was important for us to rebuild our infrastructure from the ground up, and we needed a partner to do that. So really, first and foremost, we found Qubit Networks, which was instrumental to our change.
Yeah, I think at that time we were actually New Age Telecom. It was actually before I started Qubit.
Yeah, pre-Qubit naming.
Yeah, for about a year.
Right. I remember when you first ran the name by us. And kind of quantum physics side of Qubit anyway. But that worked pretty well for us. But when it came to the equipment, first it was important for us to get a partner that, one, brought to the table something that we believed in. And the time we believed in Terrasys switches. And so Terrasys was bought out then by Extreme. That just in that progression went on. So we also felt it was very important. Our staff, we don't have engineers on staff per se. We don't have any Cisco engineers. That wasn't part of we knew, or Extreme for that matter.
Yep.
You may cut that out. I don't know.
Sure, no, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
But we knew we needed a partner to fill that void, and we also needed equipment that we could understand, and we felt that the Extreme fit that bill as well, especially with all the monitoring tools that we have, so we can be proactive, and when it's time to be reactionary, that we could figure out and troubleshoot pretty quick what was going on our network. So
and you invested,
this was built from the ground up. Our network was.
And it was really, I remember working through the initial designs, and it was a lot about, survivability and uptime. And so like even internal to your plants, you have fiber rings. You have a 20 gig fiber ring that wraps around. So if any fiber gets cut, you're still up and going.
Yeah,
redundancy within every closet, and lots of redundancy built in. And so, I don't know if this is wood or not, but I don't know that you've had a network outage, right?
Right, and it's so much easier than it used to be.
Right. Yeah. Right.
I remember calls. This was back in the mid-range days, AS400 days, with a very, very thin network as far as survivability, and we were down constantly. So now, I really haven't been even involved in any outage for
which is great.
5
which
years.
I think speaks a lot to why we like Extreme, is just that that reliability, it's fast and redundant and safe and stable and reliable, and you sometimes take it for granted, but it's been a good good run here.
Absolutely. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the wireless side, even a little more specific on that. We have roughly 1 million square feet that we're covering wirelessly, and it's kind of unusual. I don't know. I don't go out and poll, but places I've been, a lot of them are wired to the work centers that they have out in the shop.
Right.
But most of our stations are wireless on the shop floor, even.
Right.
So I think that speaks to the the redundancy and resiliency
Yeah.
we have built in the system, and obviously the coverage that we have with
Right.
wireless.
And it's growing, right? Because we were just out in the plant
Right.
looking at some places where they now want wireless coverage
Sure.
and
Right.
piling that on. And so,
Yeah.
it's been great. So, hey, thanks for everything.
sure. Yeah.
You know, you guys are great to work with. I enjoy the forward look of the Japanese company, frankly. You know,
Right.
they really look, far out ahead and
Right, they
plan.
do.
And I won't say that American companies don't, but it just seems
No.
more deliberate.
Yeah,
More deliberate
sometimes
here.
we're about today a little bit more than the Japanese are.
Yeah.
And I was just talking to a manager today about the future of email going
Yeah.
to more of the chat, the Teams,
Yes.
and he could understand. And when I told him we're planning for 5 years out, I mean,
Yeah.
he didn't even blink an eye. That's
Yeah.
what he understands.
That's
So
kinda
it
cool.
is good in that way. We like immediacy, but it is good that
Right.
they're there for the long haul,
Yeah,
and it
very
shows.
much.
So,
Yep.
and the
All right.
network we built is for the long haul.
Yeah,
There we go.
for sure. Well,
Mhm.
thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Thanks, Ryan.